pilot project on improving energy efficiency of residential buildings. Arti, Shirak region, Armenia. This building is in the mountainous town of Artik, a community located in the Shirak region, which is 1,780 meters above sea level and has a population of 18,000. The project involved construction, renovation, and insulation work, particularly the installation of doors and windows for building entrances, and the installation of windows, a lighting system, and 8 square meters of solar hot water panels for the stairwells. All of these improvements contribute to increasing the building's energy efficiency. This project aimed to demonstrate the possibility of achieving a significant increase in performance and energy efficiency in a multi-apartment building with relatively limited financial resources and the residents' active involvement. Aspirin IQ Technology Center, A+ Energy Building, Vienna, Austria. Aspirin IQ is a technology center developed by the Vienna Business Agency. It will be Austria's first big plus energy building. That is, it will produce more energy than it will consume through the year. This concept is based on a wide range of measures. A passive house standard in construction, a compact structure, improved insulation, triple glazing, and automatic ventilation with heat recovery. A connection to district heating using energy from waste incineration. The use of geothermal energy for heating and cooling. Photovoltaic elements on the south facade. Micro wind energy elements above the entrance access. Thermal component activation. Semi-air conditioning via source ventilation. Green facades to improve the microclimate. And an automatic lighting system which reacts to people and to natural light conditions. Green Lighthouse, Copenhagen, Denmark. Green Lighthouse is the first carbon-neutral public building in Denmark. The architecture is inspired by the sundial. The building has a cylindrical shape with a sloping roof cutting through it. The roof is covered with solar cells and solar panels and has skylights. In Green Lighthouse, each component was designed to save energy, from the actual design process to the choice of materials. Cooling takes place through natural ventilation and concrete floors that absorb heat. The building has heavily insulated walls, roof, and windows. The automatic Venetian blinds in front of the windows protect against sunlight during the summer and retain heat during the winter. A computer-controlled system monitors the building's energy consumption. The computer can power down the building and individual rooms when they are not occupied. Ensemble of Naklobakevi, Archaeological Site Center and Center for New Technologies, Tbilisi, Georgia. This ensemble shelters an archaeological site center and a center for new technologies. Commissioned as an energy-efficient building, the concrete structure of the Center for New Technologies is filled with prefabricated wooden panels and wrapped in an insulating envelope, minimizing heating and cooling needs. Offices are located around small attics, which provide necessary daylight and at the same time work as natural ventilation shafts. Concrete floors collect thermal mass, similar to those in a passive solar house. A green roof is used filter rainwater for use in the structure. The south-facing skylights of the archaeological site center provide daylight and at the same time work as natural ventilation outlets. A 1 kilowatt wind turbine covers the small electricity needs of the center. None of the buildings are connected to central water sewage systems. Used water from both buildings is treated on-site and used for irrigation. Efficiency House Plus with electric mobility, Berlin, Germany. The Efficiency House Plus with electric mobility is more than just a single-family home. It is a micro-power plant, resource depot, research project, platform for dialogue, and, last but not least, a contribution to improving the quality of the built environment. All the materials used are recyclable. The surplus energy generated by the building is fed into an in-house battery and into electric vehicles, which act both as storage devices and electric loads. As a result, the property and its occupants will be self-sufficient and nearly independent of the public power grid. From the very first day, the project will be subject to close scientific monitoring. The research findings are to be made available to aid in the large-scale construction of similarly innovative buildings. Renovation of multi-apartment building, Panevėžys, Lithuania. This multi-apartment building, constructed in 1958, was renovated using the Jessica financial scheme in early 2012. A Jessica loan, with a time to maturity of up to 20 years at a fixed annual interest rate of 3%, is offered to the owners of apartments or other premises in multi-apartment buildings, provided they commit themselves to implement energy efficiency measures. The result is energy savings of 74%, from 349 to 90 kilowatt hours per square meter. Sun collectors produce 40% of the energy for the preparation of hot water. Modernization reduced not only energy consumption, but also reduced heating costs and improved the social and economic conditions and the health and quality of life of the household members. The family house Ozzy, Nixon, Montenegro. This house is made primarily of wooden bricks. Walls are made of 25 centimeter bricks, 8 centimeters of insulation, and a facade covering of coniferous timber on the substructure, which forms an air facade with an air layer of 5 centimeters. Windows and doors are glazed with triple low-emission glass to be more energy efficient. The facility is heated by a system of heat pumps that uses water from a well, with an average temperature of about 10 degrees Celsius. This is implemented through a system of wall heating and cooling, where pipes, through which hot and cold water flow, are installed along the constructive walls plastered with thermal mortar, thus having no visible fittings. Constructive walls made of solid brick are heat batteries and transmitters and lower the temperature in the summer. It is a very cost-efficient heating and cooling system, which uses a heat pump with 6 kilowatts of power in an area of 260 square meters and a volume of about 730 cubic meters. Housing project in Bergen, Universal Design and Energy Efficiency, Bergen, Norway. The principles of universal design have been used throughout the planning of these 4 buildings and the surrounding outdoor areas. The project has 28 apartments, which meet the passive house standard, and 52 apartments, which meet the low energy standard. In 2008, the project was one of the first of its kind in Norway. As of January 2012, about 1,100 apartments, which meet the passive house standard, have been either planned or constructed. The total energy used in passive house standard apartments in this project is 91 kilowatt hours per meter squared per year, and the amount of electricity used is 74 kilowatt hours per meter squared per year. Solar thermal collector panels produce 17 kilowatt hours per meter squared per year. The buildings are constructed with a super insulated and airtight building envelope with minimized thermal bridges. The apartments have balanced ventilation systems with a heat recovery of 80% and low specific fan power. All passive house apartments have 2 thermal solar collectors on the roof that supply hot water. LNEG, National Laboratory for Energy and Geology. Solar Building 21, Lisbon, Portugal. This is a building with low energy consumption, which integrates solar and thermal renewable technologies and passive systems for heating and cooling. Appropriate construction techniques greatly contributed to thermal comfort inside the building. Insulation fully implemented from outside and glazing oriented to the south adequately protect the structure from the sun, thereby providing large solar gains in the winter and shading in summer. The introduction of passive cooling with a buried pipe system, together with natural ventilation strategies, is another innovative feature. However, its most remarkable characteristic is the use and inclusion of photovoltaic modules on the main facade to the south. These modules produce electricity, and the heat produced by them is recovered for heating the building in the winter. So far, about 80% of the building's energy consumption is from renewable sources. The building will, in the future, have net zero energy consumption. A self-heating eco-house for an ecological world of the future. Nemanovci, Serbia. The ecological self-heating house is fundamentally different from conventional houses, primarily due to a completely new concept of space heating, which involves increasing direct solar radiation and maximizing the utilization of energy. It is designed with a soil layer around the structure of the house instead of a roof, and reflective surfaces installed around the window frames. This represents an innovative solar technology, which is used to increase the amount of heat and light that enters the house. The house is energy efficient, with energy costs reduced by 85% for heating, 100% for cooling, 30% for lighting, and 10 to 20% for construction materials compared to conventionally constructed houses. The ecological self-heating house results in savings of more than 52,000 euros over a period of 40 years, basically paying itself off in that period of time. Low-energy residential building, Tvrdosi, Slovakia. This is the first low-energy public rental residential building in Slovakia. It consumed only 39.6 kilowatt hours per meter squared per year of energy for heating from 2011 to 2012. An external 200mm monolithic concrete wall was insulated with a contact thermal insulation system based on gray polystyrene with a thickness of 270mm. Balconies have steel profiles fastened to concrete walls with steel anchors with intermittent heat bridges. In the roof space, mineral wool was used for thermal insulation. To improve the energy balance of the low-energy house, 10 solar panels with 17.8 square meter absorbing surfaces were placed on the roof, creating thermal energy for the heating system and hot water. Due to its reduced energy consumption, the building is affordable for low-income groups because it reduces energy costs from heating and hot water. The house is environmentally friendly and has low CO2 emissions. Sustainable Building, Geneva Region, Switzerland. Which, in 2010, has developed a sustainable building in the Geneva region. Dry toilets were installed in all 13 apartments of this building. This was the first project of this type in Switzerland. Tanks located in the basement of the building contain waste together with wood chips that are added by the tenants. The compost is removed once or twice per year, and then matured for an additional year before being used as fertilizer. More information about the project can be found at www.cooperative-equilibre.ch. Sanderstead Road, Croydon, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. This new housing development is set on a derelict brownfield site, a little under half a hectare in size, on Sanderstead Road in the London borough of Croydon. The development used a highly insulated and responsibly procured timber frame, resulting in good thermal performance and an environmentally sound construction. Surface water runoff was managed on-site using sustainable drainage techniques. The thermally efficient, highly insulated timber frame construction, in conjunction with 100% energy-efficient lighting and natural gas condensing boilers, will ensure reduced heating and running costs for the social housing tenants. The use of photovoltaic panels to serve the communal spaces, whilst meeting the renewable energy targets for the development, will also offer reduced running costs for the landlord. Residential complex Comfort Town, Dnipro District, Ukraine. Comfort Town is located in the Dnipro district of the Ukraine capital. A combination of the best traditional and innovative technologies have been used to create Comfort Town. A priority of the project was to meet the needs of the people living in a modern city, while complying with European standards and achieving a high quality of life. The complex offers a large amount of green space, including parks and walking and recreational areas. The interiors of the apartments have been optimized to create a comfortable living space and, at the same time, to avoid unnecessary non-functional areas, resulting in lower housing costs. The High Line, New York City, United States of America. New York City's High Line is a unique public park that takes the ideas of reuse and sustainability to a higher level. Built upon a historic elevated rail bed, the High Line brings nature into public spaces as it snakes a 2.4-kilometer-long trail, 9 meters above Manhattan's west side. The High Line's design uses the same technology as a green roof. The High Line's multi-layer living roof system is set atop the rail line's waterproofed concrete structure and provides such benefits as a reduction of stormwater runoff by up to 80%, a mediation of the heat island effect created by hard, reflective city surfaces, and plantings that create shade, oxygen, and habitat for insects and birds. A pathway system of open-jointed concrete planks decreases both stormwater runoff and the amount of water needed for the plants. Life cycle costs influence the selection of all materials used in the highline landscape, lessening the need to replace and dispose of materials after a short time.